Hello friends and family and newcomers of YouTube. It's your girl Teri, and guess where I'm at? You got it. In my basement, aka my dungeon. So you know what that means. Another ghost story with your girl Teri. So this week's ghost story is going to be about a catch-up, which is going to be not the actual what you're thinking catch-up, but a catch-up on what's been going on in here. Since last week or 2 weeks ago, I brought it up that something had happened. My name had gotten called. So now I'm going to explain that story. Alright, that night, I was sitting at my table, and I had a baby bird for about a week. Actually, that was a Saturday, so it would have been the 5th day that I had it. It was fully thriving. It was doing well. It was about to be released that Monday. So now I can tell you about my name being called after seeing the shadow and all that. Dave and I get into an argument. He says some things to me as per usual, and he just storms off and goes to bed. So now I'm sitting in the kitchen, and I'm sitting there with, you know, the baby bird in its nest that we had made for it, where it was perfectly safe. And I was watching some YouTube videos, just catching up. You know, Caught Alive was, you know, making jokes, having fun. And then I just started listening to music, and I heard my name.
Teri.
So then I automatically go and I turn and I'm like, I'm going to pray to God, because I do not know what this Teri was about. So as I'm praying to God, I get this feeling in the pit of my stomach, and it shook me to my core, to where I felt it to my fingertips, to my top of my head, to my feet. And my next thought was, do not leave this baby bird alone tonight. As I'm talking to God. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Why would I even think of that? That was my first thing in my head, was like, why would I even think of that? So, needless to say, I stayed up for as long as I could. 5 o'clock in the morning, I checked on her. She was perfectly fine. She looked at me, she fluffed herself, and she got herself back, you know, into sleeping position. So I go to bed. The next day, I wake up. I set my alarm. I couldn't hear it go off because I didn't wake up. And I'm going to get to that in a second. I didn't wake up. So it was like, now it's like 10:30 in the morning, and I woke up late. And I go to the window and I tap on it. Because my kitchen door has a window on it. And I tap on it. And I tap on it. And nothing. And usually she greets me. She will be fluttering her wings in a certain spot, waiting for me to come and feed her. Oh, you got your buggy. I go in, and the next thing I know, she's in the spot where she always is, but her eyes are open, and she's off to the side like something scared her to death. Now, I don't know if that shadow that was in my home, honestly, did something to scare her and take her away, and either one of my angels or spirit guide or even God was letting me know at that moment, do not leave it alone, because something's going to happen and you're going to really be hurt by this. I didn't heed it, so then therefore I did find out that the feeling that I got that night before was dead on. So I'm now upset and I don't understand what the hell happened. I will insert a video into this video so you could just see that she wasn't sick. She was fully thriving. She was eating. She died on the 6th day. I started to talk to Dave, and Dave started to tell me,
I heard your alarm go off, but I didn't want to wake you up because of the fight we had the night before.
so meaning he was just being petty. And he said that he heard people coming in and out. He said Tila was in there, but she wasn't in there long enough to let the cat in, because I do have 2 cats. Because I thought maybe one of the cats got in and it got scared to death. So now that I'm thinking about this more and more, it was racking my brain. And knowing what my kids saw and what my animals experienced, that's why I had to relay that to y'all about that. The cats being spun, being touched. Maybe this bird was just so small that it couldn't handle what my cats could handle. I don't know, I'm no specialist. But I do know that I worked at the SPCA for a long time, and I did so much research on birds, because this wasn't my first rescue bird, that it wasn't sick. It had no internal damage. It didn't fall. The mom was teaching it. They were fledgling. So they were being taught how to fly, and she just couldn't get it that day. And I have tons of video just to prove and back up my story that she was totally fine. And she was thriving for all them days. So now she's gone, and I'm processing everything. And things are still happening in my home. I'm sitting on my couch, and the next thing you know, felt a push forward. And I was like, what the fuck? Why am I being touched? So immediately I did what I told y'all I was going to do, and I went and I cleansed my home. And for you that I said on my garden videos, that really isn't catnip. That was and is white Russian sage. Home Depot did not sell me a lie. Google Lens sold me a lie. So Google, get that fixed. And also, it is a spruce tree. It is not a juniper bush. Thank you, Google, for doing me like that. So after being pushed, I go and I do what I said I did. I cleansed my home. I used the sage. I used the salts. I used holy water, and I also used prayer. And everything has died down since. Except for people's attitudes in here. It just seems like at every little chance that comes around that someone is bringing negativity into the home. And this person in general, I don't know what they're doing, but I do know that they don't have no good for me planned. After all these years, it took me to realize that there's no good that's going to come out of this. Like, literally, after what I experienced after the baby died, the baby bird died, and then cleansing the home, because I cleansed the home. And last Thursday, Dave and I get into a heated altercation, and the next thing you know is that I'm shutting the door to lock him out, to block him out of the kitchen, and he comes, and I didn't want to break the door, so I didn't put that much pressure on it. And the next thing you know, he's got me by my throat. And the look in his eyes, I knew I had to defend myself. So at this point, I'm just grappling with him. I'm not hitting him, because I did make a promise to myself that I wasn't going to put my hands on people like that no more. That I wasn't going to let people get me there. Through all the meditation that I do and all, I could always woosah, breathe in, breathe out, and let it roll off. But at this moment, as we're grappling, my daughter had to get in the middle of it. And as she gets in the middle of it, he's squeezing harder. And I didn't know what to do. So in the one spot where he had me, she had twisted it, so I was able to get and reach and push myself into his hand and literally bite him. I literally bit him, but it did not let him, he did not let go. Because again, I didn't want to bite him to the point to where I was piercing skin. Because this shit is insane. No one should be living like that. So, I just reached over and I just bit. Actually, I think I might have hit him twice. I just bit over my daughter's arms, over his arms on my neck, into his face, and the next thing you know, I see blood. And he's telling me he's going to call the cops on me now. And it's mayhem. Like, before the baby bird incident, he broke his hand twice in 2 weeks. Just because I didn't either agree with him, or I had my own opinion on something, or I was watching something that maybe he was feeling some type of way about. And I know this is supposed to be a ghost story, but I wanted to catch y'all up on that and to let y'all know exactly what I'm going through on top of all this other stuff. So as long as I have this negativity in my life, and I preach it, so I'm going to practice it. As long as you have it in your life, it's just going to keep on coming in. You're welcoming that negativity into your life. It's going to keep on coming in. So with that said, I spoke with Dave. And I asked Dave for a mutual breakup. He did not want to do it. And this has been for years. This has been going on. He does not want to do it. He said
that I'm the only girl for him, that he loves me, that, you know, he doesn't want to be without me.
But on the same note, he'll violate me like that so quickly. And I mean, if I told you, and I want to make this a separate story because I was in 2 abusive relationships. One that was physical, and this one that is, the other one that was physical was emotional too, but it was more physical abuse. This one has a lot of mind fucking and mind playing and some narcissistical bullshit that I didn't see all the red flags for, that I should have seen. Like he said out his own mouth.
You should have seen the red flags from the beginning.
It don't work like that when you actually care about somebody and love them. So I'm going to be making an awareness video for girls and boys, women and men, just to let y'all know what the signs are and how it goes and what happens if you choose to stay. So with that said, I'm going to get back onto my ghost stories. So we figured that out. I actually figured that out, about the negativity part. And I just want to throw one more ghost story in there because I really don't feel like I gave you a true ghost story other than my baby bird dying with the my name be called as I'm talking to God and all that good stuff, and the rage and the hate that is been seen in people's eyes, to where so much where they made videos on me trying to expose me for being a quote unquote bitch, a fucking bitch at that, just because I have my own opinion and I like to watch all types of stuff. So hey, I'm a fucking bitch, I'll take it, it's a crown, I own it. You know, I allow people to plant them seeds, and when I allowed them to plant them, I watered them myself, and that's where it went wrong. Not no more. And this girl, you will see, Teri's going to change. This girl is going to have a whole new attitude very, very soon. And I know, baby, you watching this, and that's okay. You know it. I know it. There's no denying it. So anyways, one more. This one will actually be a good one. I got woken up one night on Orange Street, and it was somebody calling my name as per usual.
Yo, Teri.
And I get up and I'm like, huh? So I didn't hear nothing after that. So immediately I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I looked at the clock. It was 2:30 in the morning. I go up. I do my thing, which just was number one. Like, literally, I just had to take a piss. So I'm sitting there straight up on the toilet, doing my thing, and I go to reach for the toilet paper. And as I'm going to reach for the toilet paper, it does like this, like if wind's hitting it. I don't know if I'm doing that right. That's why I'm looking. Like kind of like that. And I went to go grab it. I was like, whoa, what was that? And the next thing I remember is waking up just like this, with my sitting up. Open my eyes. And I look around and I went, wow, I didn't even get to wipe myself. So of course, you know, I go get a wet nap and all that good stuff, and I wipe myself. And I go downstairs and I look at the time, and it's now 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that many hours I was sitting on that toilet like that. But to catch you up, I am also a sleepwalker, which I did not sleepwalk into this. I actually was aware and went up and seen what I seen, and that was the last thing I could remember. And it wasn't like I was all smoked up or anything like that. I literally seen it do that. And that was the last thing I remember. So with that said, that was just another creepy note for me, because for what? 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 4.5 hours I sat on that toilet and then came to sitting up the same way I was when I went to go reach for the toilet paper. Now, my kids will tell you when I'm drunk, when I used to get drunk, and I would fall asleep on the toilet, I would always be like hunched over. Like, I looked dead. There was no sitting up all nice and... there was none of that. It was all always down, always down. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed this little ghost story, aka catch up on what's been going on with my life, what's been going on with after I cleansed the home. Obviously, you know, there's still some negativity here, and I know what negativity that is now. And I am so going to make a video on that one, because so many people need to be educated. So with that said, I'm so glad that you've made it this whole time. I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been about 12, 13 minutes, but after my edits, it'll be probably about 20 minutes. With that said, guys, I really truly do appreciate yous. You don't know what kind of difference that yous make when yous come on my page and yous comment down below your stories or your encouraging words or your lovely comments For that, I say thank you. Now, guys, remember, stay up on your grind. Stay blessed up. Stay doing you. It doesn't matter what they say about you. At the end of the day, when you got proof, it will all fall into place. Much love, much respect. Until next time, peace. I'm out. She's like right there. They always come to see the baby.